Even if you went into Spider-Man No Way Home expecting that things were going to go very south for pretty much everybody involved, specifically for Spider-Man, I think it's safe to say that nobody suspected that it would be this insane, literally leaving Peter Parker with nothing. Now, Amy Pascal, the producer of Spider-Man No Way Home, who's very closely tied with Spider-Man since the beginning, talks a little bit about the ending and, of course, that shocking twist and revelation. So, of course, if you're wondering which specific part we're talking about here, we are talking about the big decision that happens at the end, where Peter makes that giant sacrifice where everybody is going to forget that Peter Parker ever existed. They forget him, and with the use of Doctor Strange's magic, everybody will remember Spider-Man existing. He was there, but Peter Parker, no more. Nobody knows that Peter Parker is Spider-Man, and nobody knows that Spider-Man is Peter Parker. Essentially, it's a clean slate. While speaking with the New York Times, Amy Pascal was asked about this moment, and she said that this was one of those big decisions that they all came together to make, talking about how big it is, the big sacrifice that Spider-Man always makes, and how this had to be the biggest one. This had to be a decision so big, so monumental, so sacrificial that you've never seen it before, and that this is in turn going to kind of set up the next chapter of who Peter Parker is, his life, and what exactly happens with the character. And when Pascal was asked about this in other outlets and interviews, she also echoed the same exact thing she told the New York Times, but also adding a little bit more context onto this, if you will, saying that this is one of those things where if you look at Peter Parker's, trajectory, let's put it that way, in the MCU, it's about growth and what he learns. And I think if you start looking at his first appearance in Civil War, then Homecoming, and if you just take it as a trilogy, take out the Avengers films, you're gonna see the growth of the character, to being very hopeful, I want to be an Avenger, ooh, I'm a superhero, oh, look at me, to, man, this can really deliver something bad for everybody, look at how it could ruin everybody's life around, to, oh my god, me being selfish, I could have ruined everything, including reality. I'm never going to make that mistake again. It's more about everything else than me. I can sacrifice everything for the greater good. You understand that now. And them talking about that sacrifice and her specifically stating that that was the goal and that the future is going to have obviously ramifications after this is very much, I think, what excites people for the next chapter even more, because you just have to think about how this has completely taken Spider-Man in a direction none of us have ever seen before, which honestly tends to be what they've done with the MCU so far. Every time you think you know what they're going to do, they subvert your expectations, for better or for worse.